This is the limestone lowdown. Hear the sound when you lie through the issues all around. From every corner, let's make it clear. The change we need is starting here.
Hey, my fellow limestone lowdowners. We're doing things a little bit different this time. I was not able to be at the city council meeting, so this is going to be a lot of Jared talking.
I had to carry the water by myself.
So as we're going to go over the March 24th, 2025 city council meeting, it was a pretty quiet city council meeting. I think there was only like 13 items on the agenda. This was also our second city council meeting that they had decided to attach bids and expenses and the accounts that money was coming out of. We had some travel expenses. Looked like that was stripped from the calendar, or from the agenda. Travel expenses for the cemetery, parks and recreation. Resolution to approve a low bid from Donahue Chevrolet for a Chevy Tahoe for the expense of $60,000. It's got bids attached. Jared, don't you find it odd that on these bids, like, they have an opportunity to, like, do 5, but they get, like, 1 or 2 bids?
What I find crazy is, why does the local Ford, the local Chevy, the local Dodge place never have any bids? Like, why are they never, you know what I mean? Because it's always like shop local, shop the square. But it's never like shop at our local car dealership.
Yeah, that you're right, because this one is Donahue Chevrolet and Lynn Layton Chevrolet, no response. Landers McClarty, no response. McSweeney and Mitch Smith.
That's what I'm
Who
saying.
are those?
That's what I'm saying. They're not from here. They're not. They may not even be in North Alabama.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why would you not go to, the Dodge place?
Yeah.
Because it's Dodge and Chevy, and then we do have a Ford dealership as well.
Right.
It's like, why are they not
Looks
doing
like
anything?
they wanted a Chevrolet. These are 5 that they reached out to bid on. On a side note, when you were like the shop local, I found it funny whenever we met with the mayor. So, I bought the mayor a Coke and took it to him and dropped it off with his secretary, and it was just an inside joke and from his speech at the State of the City, and the first thing out of his mouth was like, "Did I shop local when I bought that Coke?" Like, so weird.
Like, where else would I get a classic Coke like that?
Right, it was a glass.
Besides G.G. White,
Right.
and their old cooler. Like, come on now. Like, I think I know more about it than you do.
I know, I love you, Jets. Anyways, another thing, resolution to approve a low bid, Woody Anderson Ford, which that is.
Oh, goodness. One in Huntsville.
To purchase 5 2025 Police Interceptor SUV vehicles at a total cost not to exceed $236,945 from the police department's existing capital expenditure.
So they're buying new police cars. Are we going to have actually police officers to put in them, though?
Right.
I mean, legit question.
So this was another one. We had talked about this one February 24th meeting, and it got pushed. So resolution to approve that a structure at 1402 U.S. Highway 72 is unsafe and a public nuisance, and ordering an abatement of the same.
So I do have an update on that.
Well, that's the old, just to remind all of y'all, that's the old Shoney's building on Highway 72.
So Eric Waddell got up 2 weeks ago, which would have been the 10th, and said that they're working with them and that he approved giving them 30 days. Well, not quite 30 days, but to this meeting, and they had not done anything. So they're moving forward with the city tearing it down and then charging them for this. So it's happening.
Well, they're going to tear it down as soon as they can, too.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. So
because they already have somebody that wants it
so
without the building.
I just kind of made me think of the same story. We've heard that before. Mm-hmm. That do they really know what's going on? Because our local folks that was happening to them said that they didn't get any of these letters, these certified letters, these notices.
Right.
They didn't even know it was getting torn down
That's right.
until we told them.
The one on Market
So
Street.
it just makes me wonder. It's like, is the same thing happening?
They put
Is history repeating itself?
Right, the one on Market Street, they just put the information
On
on
the
the
door.
property, and they know that they don't live there.
Yep.
And
So-
they even said that they had tried to contact Waddell like 100 times. So this one, there was another one, resolution approving a major amendment to a master development plan for Henderson Estates subdivision to include 3 additional lots with the addition of a transitional buffer.
So basically, the city planner, Aaron, got up there and said initially that this subdivision gave up 8 plots or whatever, I guess for beautification at the front or whatever, and they were asking for some back. They were asking for 4 plots back, and they ended up settling on 3.
Gotcha.
So that's what that was. So the beautification up front, but they're still going to do 3 lots from the initial 8.
Resolution to adopt a revived org chart for the IT department to add one addition, the system support specialist. You know, I've noticed the last few weeks we have had a ton of city positions open up. A lot. Like, there's been a lot lately. You
Was
not
it a
notice
lot
that?
of positions open or a lot of reshuffling?
Who knows? I don't trust anything. It's almost like if the city of Athens puts it out,
Every day I'm shuffling. Was that Mark's shuffling around?
Something, right?
He is a little
because
old.
he's old. Resolution to approve a final correcting change order in the net amount of $71,951 to Vortex Companies for a pipe bursting deteriorated sanitary sewer collection lines.
So that's what our buddy Mark always talks about, them putting something in the ground and then digging it back up and busting stuff and pipes everywhere. That's all part of that.
Yeah, you know, what's funny is they talk about this amount, but there's,
Well, that's in addition to whatever they initially agreed
but
on.
they don't have in here like where that money's coming from. Remember, that's that sanitation department, the water services. Remember what our friend told us to keep an eye on.
What, water everywhere? Not a drop to drink? Water going down the drain? Yes, I do know
Okay, I was
exactly
about
what
to
you're
be
talking
like,
about.
Make sure. So there's not a whole lot of information on that particular one.
Well, no, it's selective.
And like you're saying, for those of y'all, if y'all have listened to Mark's episode, he talks about how it's almost like the way that it appears is that the city will go out and like bust up and tear something up. And then
Halfway fix it.
I was going to say a bad word.
Ass is all right. Meaning
Okay,
they're going to half-ass it.
and
Yeah.
then go and apply for grants and get money from the state. And so, you know, again, if I see anything with the water, and that's where, you know, we're still spending money from like 2015, pots of money, like it's just crazy. Anyway, so there's just, this one's not very detailed, and I almost feel like this city or Holly has gotten, it's almost like an insult, like, oh, bid is attached, but then the ones they want to not give you
Well,
information
of
on.
course.
Yeah. So, anyways, a resolution to accept the low bid of $3,377,410 from Virginia Transformer Corporation for a substation power transformer for Athens, Elm Park, and Swancott Electric substations. Do you remember anything about that?
I don't at all.
Let's see. Bid attached. I was going to see if there was multiple bids on it. Nope. There was only 2 bids received from it. Out of 5. The other 3 didn't respond. Resolution to allow the mayor to pay aid to construction costs to Athens Utilities for Sunrise Park Phase 1 in the amount of $446,000.
No, call it what it's really going to be. The Ronnie Mark
Memorial
Splash Pad. Yep.
You've even got
You know,
Jesse saying that now.
Sunrise just doesn't have a good ring to it. You know what I mean?
Jared
but-
started that about 6 months ago. Like, we're going to call that the Ronnie Marks Memorial Splash Pad. And I'm like, he's not dead. And he's like, that's what makes it funny.
Yeah, you don't have to be dead to something to be named after you. Goodness.
But the memorial, like, really?
Well, hopefully he's not going to be the mayor anymore, and it will be a memorial.
There you go.
So,
And it's from the 2024 Go Warrant Fund.
look at that.
What is that?
Who knows? Sounds good, though, doesn't it?
Michael Griffin, the city engineer. That's the one I talked to on the phone.
Look at that.
You know?
He was very nice, though, wasn't
Yeah, he was super nice.
he? Now, he reminded you that who he works for.
And I always feel like that's intentional.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Like, I can only do so much. Look at who my boss is.
Right. It's almost like when Officer Tucker, when the goats were out and Officer Tucker had to talk to me, he was real friendly.
Look at that.
I can always tell whose side they're on. If you're for me or if you're for the mayor.
Oh, goodness.
And where the two lines don't cross. Okay. Resolution to allow the city engineer to enter into an agreement for Alabama Department of Transportation permit to construct a median crossover on Highway 72 for the installation of a right in, right out, left in access on 72 within an eastbound right turn lane at the westbound turn lane to serve as a commercial development. French Mill. Michael Griffin, city engineer. Was that
The new
for the
Publix.
new Publix?
Yes.
So that is part of the city is funding to help that development, right? Like
$600,000.
$600,000,
Because
yeah.
they got two separate $400,000
yeah,
grants.
and it ended up being 1.4 total, and then they got 800,000 in grants, and then this is the other 600,000. So, resolution to allow the city engineer to enter an agreement from the Alabama Department of Transportation permit, grade and landscape the area of the proposed economic project known as French Mill, and approve a payment of $1,600 to
Cut some trees.
a portion of the grading and landscaping to remove 44 trees, which will be funded from the Capital Infrastructure Fund. So on the, I thought it was more than $1,600, but they're
It
only,
was not. That was confirmed.
okay.
That was the city's part.
Okay.
Remember, we're like, oh man, I wish
'Cause
we
it
could
was-
get a tree cut down for that
I
much.
know, yeah. So
All right, so now what we all been waiting for, we got our lovely Attorney General opinion back that I've been asking about for months. Well, really since November. Okay,
and y'all, Jared has literally been stalking the website because before, whenever Shane Black first started giving us this stuff and like replied with all these Alabama Attorney General opinions, we of course started like diving in. And before we responded, we got smart on it really quick. And they go through and like you kind of request these Attorney General opinions, or like you should have an answer back within like 2 weeks. And it just kind of drug on month after month after month. And, you know, Shane Black got to where he wouldn't even let Jared ask about it. He would always give that as like part of his update. Like he knew you were coming with it. And so then at this particular meeting, he finally,
well, I'd already, of course, as she
Knew,
said,
yeah.
she said I stalked the site. I already knew what it was, and before he even mentioned it, but he mentioned it, so I took my opening. So, you know, as you know, they've cut off all public comments, the public comment section, Facebook comments. So since Shane Black mentioned it, and it was a very short meeting, I took that, and Amanda wasn't there to film it. You know, of course I could have got somebody else to do it, but, you know, nobody can film it like Amanda.
oh my gosh.
So I took the opportunity to go up there and basically had to force my way in for them to allow me to talk, because Mr. Lucas like, this is not an agenda item. I'm like, well, Shane Black just mentioned it. So no, it's not an agenda item, but it's very relevant. And he's like, it was not an agenda item. I said, well, he was about to answer. And I said, I really want this recorded because I want everybody to see it. So I was very strategic about that. And I was not going to back down. And eventually he said, okay. So I think the best thing to do is just kind of read a little bit of it and then kind of explain what they're hiding still, or what they try to hide. So this is like a little, almost like a little pamphlet, and it says the city asked a municipal building inspector's files related to a criminal investigation into whether a structure violates city ordinances and building codes are not subject to disclosure under the Open Records Act, thereafter known as ORA. So, do they have to give us these or not? So, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but 7 different times, I counted them and put my little numbers out beside it. 7 different times, which I will read, it says that the state of Alabama is in favor of it. The first one being, this office has previously observed that ORA favors disclosure. Number 2, offices has previously determined that generally a building inspector's files are subject to public disclosure. 3, 56 years ago, this office opined a detailed report made by building inspectors of their findings of alleged violations of the Minimum Housing Code of the City of Montgomery are public record. Number 4, additional orders and directives to vacate or repair under the MCH replies from the property owners are public records. Then, number 5, it is the opinion of the Attorney General of Kentucky also that reports of building inspections are public record. Number 6, inspectors' documents are generally subject to disclosure under the ORA. And then number 7, although a municipal building inspector's non-criminal investigative file is generally subject to disclosure. But then it goes in to explain why they would not be. And it also says, alternatively, documents that are otherwise public records cannot be shielded from disclosure by placing them in an ORA investigative file. So basically, they can't just cover it up and say, oh, that's part of an investigation, and we're just going to stick it in this file. So I asked, Shane Black, he said that, and they were very proud that they got this, and we're like, we already knew this. Mm-hmm. We sent an email November 13th and said, it says that you have to give this to us unless it's part of a criminal investigation. There's also, at the very bottom of the open records that we have to fill out every time you want from the city, it says a $75 fee for building inspection reports. So, me being me, I asked the general question of, why is that at the bottom of the page if you're saying that you don't have to give it to us? And of course, Shane Black is a lawyer, so lawyers do lawyer things, which is, try to legalese you and stuff like that, and that's how I felt. So my understanding, and this, again, I'm not a lawyer, I just play one part-time. I mean, maybe I'm to the paralegal.
You missed the calling.
I did miss the calling, because I would argue with the tree if I felt I was right. Maybe I'm to the paralegal level at this point, as much investigation stuff that we've done. But anyway, so he's like, well, no, it's like if there's a police report, that's not, public knowledge or whatever. I was like, well, it is, after a while, even, as long as they mark out people's names and stuff like that, police reports can be. But my general understanding is now, say, for instance, that I thought somebody stole something from my house, and I really just misplaced it. Mm-hmm. So I call the cops and say, hey, I think there's been a burglary. Yeah, there it is. I can't even speak. Uh-huh. So the police would come out and do a report, right? Mm-hmm. So this report, if it doesn't go anywhere, we find out, oh my goodness, you're just an idiot, you misplaced something, so there's really not a crime, those files would not be public record. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I can understand that at least. But this is saying that if non-criminal records, but it should be, So I really didn't even understand how he's trying to explain that, but I can understand what he's saying, but I still don't.
In the recording, what's funny to me is that he used a whole lot of legal jargon.
Yes.
And so for y'all that are on our Facebook page and that you've seen this and you hear it, he says a lot to not really say a lot, because number one, let's talk about the house on Market Street, okay? So we ended up talking to the homeowners there. That house was for sale, so we just contacted the homeowners because they put this on the city agenda. We drove to the house. We saw that the report was literally taped to the front and back door of the house. We ended up meeting with the homeowners, and they're like, because from the front, this house looks like nothing's wrong with it.
Exactly.
Now, we did go inside and we're like, oh, we see why they're, quote, wanting to condemn it. But
it was just a section of the house.
Right, but even from the outside, you really couldn't.
Nope.
You couldn't be. You even walking around the house, you're like, I don't know what they're seeing. Like, I don't know what this means. So what happened is, like, they were talking about, like, when you call the police. Okay, so they have this house over on Market Street, which is in the medical district. It's worth more than the average house because it's zoned for that. And a homeless person broke in. So they called the police to say that a homeless person had broken into their home. The police come out, file the police report, but then they notice that a section of the house has a flat roof and it caused the house to like fall in basically in this section. And they had to contact the city inspector, and that's how it got to that place. But guess what? That was public information, because guess what? That report was taped to the front door.
Yep.
So basically what Shane Black was saying, that we're not going to inspect a house unless we have to.
Basically.
And we ourselves, and we know several other people, have reported these houses within North Athens that need to be inspected and condemned. At least this house on Market Street and the Shoney's building and the other place on 31, they didn't even have people living in them. Like,
nope.
They're allowing people to be exposed to this black mold and live in this filth.
Squalor.
Yeah. And so basically they're like, but to me, the way that I hear that too is, if they don't exist, we can't give it to you.
Exactly.
You know?
And that's what we think, is they don't exist because they've never been inspected. Because, granted, we're not building inspectors, but you can clearly see, I mean, we have been in these houses. Like, we have taken pictures, extensive pictures. I mean, we've seen it all. Mm-hmm. And you could not help but find something wrong with these houses.
Yeah.
So you can't get away with saying, oh, no, there's nothing there. Well, we didn't find anything. You didn't find anything because you didn't look. Mm-hmm. Because you could clearly find something if you wanted to, or even if you didn't even want to. It's like, you like trip over it. It's there. So that's what we kind of think, that they're really also telling on themselves. It's like, they don't exist because they don't exist.
Right. And so we're going to try to have somebody on as a guest, and we'll kind of go into this, but real quick, because I know we're kind of getting to the end, and Jared's got a couple more things to talk about. Speaking of the Alabama Attorney General opinion, they did this, 5 years ago? Got an Alabama Attorney General opinion.
About police reports. It was a like a repair place, like a your car gets you're in an accident and.
No, I'm not talking about that, but
I'm
talking about the school board.
I thought you were talking about that.
So that's
so this one, basically like a repair place wanted to send stuff, like solicit. Okay, there's been an accident, and if you don't know where to take your car, they wanted to like basically solicit your business, and as long as your stuff is blacked out, basically what the report was is they could just say, yes, this person had an accident or whatever. No problem whatsoever. And the Attorney General said, yes, you have to give it to them. And the city tried to say no on that. Now go back to what you were talking about.
Yeah, so it was about the school board, and we'll end up having another episode about that. And hopefully we can have somebody as a guest on here. But it was something from like 2020 that the mayor and Shane Black conjured up to help, I think, try sway for Lonnie Marks to
there
win.
used to be 5 school board positions and 2 at large. So then they didn't necessarily like the people in the 2 at large positions. So they decided to seek attorney general opinion and say, oh, our bad. We shouldn't have these 2 at large positions. These positions should go away. And like effective immediately, lo and behold, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And so that was during the mayoral race of 2020. But hopefully we can have another episode talking more about that because it's a whole lot deeper. But I want to give Jared just a couple minutes to talk about what Mark talked about and then just what Tim talked about.
Well, Mark talked about his normal stuff, his normal
North Athens
North Athens, and the families that control it, and they get away with everything. And then Tim got up and asked, "Was the city of Athens a
Sanctuary city?
Sanctuary city?" Because it's crazy. ICE has been everywhere around us, but yet they're still not here. But I think to end this episode, I think it would be great to talk about, this is also during the time where Trump had just announced that as of the day of this city council, that our Haitian friends are now illegal.
Yeah.
And that they have 30 days to self-deport or, face eviction. But crazy thing, 3 or 4 days before, definitely the weekend before, our buddy Seibert was even him getting his hands dirty himself. He was moving appliances, so he had forewarning that this Trump.
I know Jared and I were going around. We were seeing it. We kind of do our loop through the city as our community activist selves, and we were like, oh my gosh, especially the house that's like a half a mile from us. They were clearing them out. Mattresses were being piled out front. And we're like, that is one of the houses that all the Haitians came into, 15, 20 of them, when all this first got started. And then they're like disappeared overnight.
And we have pictures of it. There were 10 mattresses piled up.
Nasty mattresses.
Out on the road. So the very house that they were like, what are you talking about? There's not that many people in it. And this is a single family house.
A 3-bedroom house.
Had 10 mattresses.
So then after we saw that, then we started kind of doing our normal loop. And some of the really, really bad houses on North Jefferson Street, there's like 10 total about that he's completely emptied out. His property manager has been MIA like from 8 till like 7 at night.
Working real hard.
Chris Seibert was even moving appliances himself, which isn't typical. So, yeah, there's at this point, lots of progress being made. I think lots of feathers are being ruffled within the city. Good feathers, but I mean on our part, like our group. But yeah, so it was an uneventful meeting, not a whole lot on the agenda, but there's always something.
And Seibert and Dana Henry were MIA. So
it was spring
break. Even quieter.
Yeah, it was spring break, so you only had three council members and Mayor Marks and Shane Black. But so I guess we'll wrap it up, and I'm sure there'll be more to come. So till next time, guys.
And that's a wrap for this episode of the Limestone Lowdown, where we break down the issues, keep you informed, and give you facts straight from the source. Remember, your voice matters, your vote counts, and your community thrives when we stay engaged. Stay tuned, stay informed, and stay involved. Until next time, keep questioning, keep advocating, and keep shaping the future of the Limestone area. We'll see you on the next Limestone Lowdown.